Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world of coins, collectibles, and thereof American coins. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 stands like a quiet giant, small in size but massive in mystery, history, and hidden value. When you hold this coin in your hand, you are not just touching metal, you are touching a turning point in American history, the moment when a woman's face first appeared on a circulating US dollar coin. That alone gives this coin a power few others have. Many people ignore it, mistake it for a quarter, or toss it into drawers, but deep inside some of these 1979 dollars lives a fortune waiting to be awakened. This coin was born in 1979, a year when the United States Mint tried something bold and new. They wanted to create a modern dollar coin that honored Susan B. Anthony, a fearless leader who fought for women's right to vote. Her portrait was chosen not just as decoration but as a message to the nation. That means every real 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar carries a story of struggle, courage, and victory. History itself gives this coin emotional and cultural weight, which serious collectors value as much as rarity. Now here is where the magic begins. Not all 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are the same. Some were struck in a very special way, with tiny design differences so small that most people never notice them. One of these legendary versions is known among collectors as the wide rim or near-date variety. On this rare coin, the numbers of the year sit closer to the rim than on normal coins. That tiny difference can turn an ordinary-looking dollar into a treasure worth thousands, and in extreme perfect condition, even more. Imagine millions of these coins being made, and inside that flood only a small group being created with this special rim. They were released into circulation without anyone realizing their secret at the time. They were spent at stores, dropped into cash registers, and mixed with normal dollars. That means right now, even today, some of these rare wide rim coins may still be hiding in homes, jars, and old collections, completely unnoticed by the people who own them. Condition is where fortunes are made. A 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that looks dull, scratched, or worn has little power. But one that is sharp, bright, and clean, especially one that was never used, becomes something else entirely. When a rare wide rim coin survives in almost perfect condition, it becomes a dream piece for collectors. They are willing to pay huge money because they want the best of the best, the coin that looks just like it did the day it left the mint. Some of the highest-priced 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars ever sold were not just rare in design, but almost flawless in appearance. These coins were protected from damage for decades, and when experts graded them, they received top scores. At that level, collectors fight over them, and the prices can explode far beyond what most people imagine a small dollar coin could be worth. The reason this coin is so powerful is because it combines three forces: history, scarcity, and condition. It is historic because it introduced a woman to the US dollar. It is scarce because the special varieties were made in much smaller numbers, and it becomes priceless when it is found in near-perfect shape. When these three come together in one coin, the value can jump from a few dollars to tens of thousands, and sometimes more. Many people think only gold and silver make you rich, but coins like this prove otherwise. This dollar is made from a copper-nickel blend, yet collectors chase it like treasure. Why? Because rarity and story matter more than metal. A rare 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is not just currency, it is a piece of American heritage frozen in time. What makes this even more exciting is how easy it is to overlook. Because it is about the size of a quarter, people confuse it and never take a closer look. They don't check the rim, they don't look at the date position, and they don't realize what might be sitting in their hand. That is how fortunes stay hidden. When collectors discover a true wide-rim 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar in beautiful condition, it feels like striking lightning. These coins are studied, graded, and sealed in protective holders, and once they enter the high-end collector market, they can reach breathtaking prices. The higher the grade, the higher the demand, and demand is what pushes value into the sky. This coin also represents a moment when America tried to move forward with modern money but wasn't fully ready. The public didn't love the size, so the coin quietly faded from everyday use. But that failure made the rare versions even more mysterious and desirable because they belong to a short, strange chapter of US coin history. Every real 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar carries the same face, the same eagle on the back, and the same date, but only a few carry the hidden fingerprint of rarity. That fingerprint is in the rim, the spacing, and the fine details that only trained eyes usually notice. But once you know what to look for, you hold the key to discovery. Think about how many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or spent over the years. That slowly makes the surviving perfect ones even more valuable. Time itself works like a filter, removing the ordinary and leaving behind only the exceptional. And in the coin world, the exceptional is where the real money lives. So if you ever find a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that looks unusually sharp, clean, and well-made, don't rush to spend it. Look closely at the date, the rim, and the overall beauty of the coin. You might be holding something far more powerful than a single dollar, something that connects history, rarity, and destiny in one small shining circle. This is why the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 is not just a coin, it is a silent fortune teller. Most of them whisper, but a rare few shout with the voice of treasure. And for the person who recognizes that voice, this humble dollar can become a symbol of overnight transformation, a reminder that sometimes the greatest riches hide in the smallest places. The next up, top 2, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 is one of those American coins that feels ordinary at first glance, yet hides a story powerful enough to electrify collectors across the world. Because this was not just another dollar coin but the dramatic comeback of a series that had already been declared finished. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was first introduced in 1979 to honor the legendary women's rights pioneer Susan B. Anthony, and after only a short run it vanished from daily use, forgotten in vaults while paper dollars ruled again. Until suddenly in 1999 it returned like a legend rising from the pasture. The reason 1999 became so important is that the US Mint was running dangerously low on dollar coins just as new vending machines, transit systems, and government programs needed them. So in a hurry they revived the old Susan B. Anthony design instead of waiting for a new series. That makes the 1999 issue a special bridge between eras, struck only because of an emergency, and collectors love coins born from moments of pressure because they often carry rarity, mystery, and errors that were never meant to exist. Every 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition with a pure copper core, giving it that bright silver-white look with a warm reddish edge when viewed from the side. And this copper side glow is one of the easiest ways to recognize a real coin. Even though millions were minted, truly perfect coins with sharp details, untouched luster, and no wear are incredibly rare today, and those are the pieces that can soar into breathtaking prices. The mint mark on this coin is where the story gets even more exciting, because 1999 dollars were struck at Philadelphia with no mint mark and at Denver with a small d, and collectors know that tiny letters can mean the difference between a common coin and a treasure. Some Denver pieces were struck with weaker dyes or subtle planchet issues, creating coins that look normal to the untrained eye but become priceless once examined under magnification. When a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar survives in absolutely flawless condition, with blazing luster, sharp rims, and no marks from bags or machines, it enters a rare world where collectors compete fiercely, because there are far fewer perfect examples than most people realize. These top-grade coins are like time capsules from the mint, frozen in the moment they were struck, and their value can climb into astonishing territory as demand grows year after year. Even more powerful than condition are the rare minting errors that sometimes appear on 1999 Anthony dollars, because mistakes created by the mint are never meant to exist and therefore become instant legends. Coins struck off-center on the wrong metal with double designs or with missing layers can turn a simple $1 coin into something worth more than a luxury car, and in extreme cases collectors will pay fortunes just to own one. What makes these error coins so magical is that they are unique or nearly unique, meaning once one is discovered and certified it becomes the only example of its kind, and rarity like that is what pushes values into the millions. A coin with a dramatic error is not just money anymore, it becomes a historical artifact, a one-of-a-kind survivor of a split second when the minting process went wrong in the most beautiful way. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony on the front of the coin adds even more emotional weight, because she represents courage, struggle, and the fight for equal rights, and collectors love coins that tell human stories as well as financial ones. Holding a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar feels like holding a piece of American history, linking modern times to a woman who changed the course of a nation. Because this coin came back only for a single year before the design was replaced, the 1999 issue stands alone, and that single-year status is something collectors crave, since it guarantees that no future minting can dilute its importance. Single-year coins often become iconic, and over time they grow more desirable as people realize there will never be another one like it. Many people have spent these coins without a second thought, but the smart collectors know that inside rolls, drawers, and old collections could be hiding untouched gems that were never circulated, waiting to be discovered like buried treasure. When one of these pristine coins is found and graded at the highest level, it can transform a person's life, turning a simple dollar into a gateway to wealth. The excitement around the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar comes from the combination of emergency minting, limited time, and the possibility of rare errors, a trio that creates the perfect storm for legendary coins. History has shown again and again that when these factors meet, values can explode in ways that feel almost unreal. Collectors around the world search tirelessly for these special $1999, not just because of their beauty but because of their story, and that global demand means prices keep rising as the best pieces disappear into private vaults. Once a top-grade or error coin is locked away, it may not be seen again for decades, making the next one even more valuable. If you ever hold a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar with a bright copper edge, strong mint details, and no signs of wear, you may be holding something far greater than its face value, something that could change your fortune if it turns out to be one of those rare survivors. This is why experts always say never rush to sell, because true treasures reveal their worth only after careful study. Coins like this are proof that history, metal, and chance can come together to create miracles, and that even in modern times extraordinary rarities still exist, hidden in plain sight. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as a symbol that treasure is not only buried in ancient ruins but also quietly waiting in everyday objects. So if you or someone you know owns one of these coins, especially in beautiful condition or with something unusual about it, remember that you are holding more than a dollar, you are holding a story, a piece of American heritage, and possibly a key to a life-changing discovery. Because in the world of coins, even the smallest piece of metal can carry unimaginable power to change a destiny. The next up, top 3. Imagine holding a coin that once passed quietly through the hands of ordinary Americans in 1980, never knowing it would one day become one of the most hunted modern U.S. treasures, the 1980 piece Susan B. Anthony $1 coin. Struck at the historic United States Mint in Philadelphia, this small silver-colored dollar carries a powerful story inside its metal. And while millions were made, only a microscopic number exist in the condition and strike quality that turns them into jaw-dropping, life-changing rarities today. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was born in a time of change, when America wanted a modern dollar that honored a real hero, not a symbolic figure. The face of the coin shows Susan B. Anthony, a fearless woman who fought for voting rights and equality, and her portrait gave this coin something no U.S. dollar had ever carried before, a woman who changed history. That alone already makes the coin important, but what happened inside the mint in 1980 made certain pieces unbelievably valuable. The Philadelphia Mint used dies and planchets that year which, in rare moments, aligned in near-perfect harmony, producing coins with razor-sharp detail, mirror-like fields, and astonishing strike depth. These are not the dull, ordinary Susan B. Anthony dollars people ignored in pocket change. These are the elite survivors that escaped wear, scratches, and dulling, staying frozen in time like they were just born from the press. What truly sends certain 1980p coins into the realm of million-dollar legends is condition and strike. Coins graded at the highest professional levels, those that look almost unreal under magnification, become so scarce that collectors and investors fight over them. Imagine a coin so flawless that not even under bright light can you find a single tick or line. Those are the coins that command prices most people cannot believe. Some 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollars were struck with unusually strong rims, clean lettering, and bold stars that seem to float above the surface. When these features combine with untouched surfaces, the coin becomes something special, something elite, something powerful in the collector world. These are the coins auction houses whisper about, the kind that can make headlines when they appear. Many people think rarity only means low mintage, but that is not the real secret. Millions of 1980p dollars were made, yet almost all of them were spent handled or stored badly. Only a microscopic fraction survived in mint state perfection, and even fewer survived in what collectors call top pop condition, the highest known grade for that coin. Those are the ones that can sell for amounts that change lives. The copper-nickel composition of this coin also plays a role. When stored properly, the surface can take on a smooth, glowing finish that looks like liquid silver. When that glow is still intact after more than 40 years, collectors know they are looking at something rare, something protected by fate itself. The 1980p is especially loved because it was made during the short, intense life of the Susan B. Anthony dollar series. The coin was misunderstood by the public and didn't circulate as hoped, which means many were shoved into vaults and forgot. But the few that were struck perfectly became silent sleepers, waiting decades to awaken as treasures. In high-end coin markets, top-grade modern dollars have shocked the world before by selling for staggering prices. When a 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar appears in extraordinary condition, elite collectors don't see a small coin, they see a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own the finest example on Earth. This is why you should never rush to sell such a coin cheaply. A dealer may see only a dollar coin, but a serious collector sees the story of women's rights, the artistry of American coinage, and the miracle of perfect preservation all trapped inside one tiny disc of metal. Holding a perfect 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar is like holding a frozen moment from history. It connects the struggle of Susan B. Anthony, the ambition of the U.S. Mint, and the dream of collectors who search their whole lives for coins this perfect. If your coin has sharp details, bright original surfaces, no scratches, and a strong, even strike, you may be holding something that belongs in a grading holder and an auction, not in a pocket or a drawer. Coins like that are judged not by face value but by how close they come to perfection. Over time, these elite examples become more valuable, not less, because once one is locked away in a collection, it may never return to the market. Each year, fewer remain available and demand from collectors continues to grow. That is why stories of Susan B. Anthony dollars selling for unbelievable prices are not myths. They are the result of rarity, condition, history, and desire colliding in one small, powerful object. So if you ever hold a 1980p Susan B. Anthony $1 coin that looks like it just came from the mint, remember this. It may not just be a coin, it may be a sleeping fortune, a silent legacy, and a tiny metal key that could unlock a future beyond imagination.